Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's me, Jeremy Alexander Newsome with reallifetrading.com. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Got the SPY on the board, which is normally what we start off with when we're doing our reviews. This is the ETF that tracks the Standard & Poor's 500. Looking at what we got, this pink line is just the artwork of the one, the only Mr. Squiggles. And we have a nice, very expected pullback today into the 20 EMA. Just on Monday in the afternoon swing trading room, I made this little prediction right here. And we got the pullback. We could pull back a little bit lower, but this is really probably all we get. The interesting thing is if we're looking at it, I don't know if there's ever been a time in the recent past where we had a bearish candle with a lower shadow that barely broke the 20 and then bounced. But I will look for tomorrow to see if we kind of get that gap up or move out of here. And if that starts happening, let's just go bullish again. This is a pullback. Yeah, it's three days. That's it. That's all you got. If we start bouncing, let's keep crushing it and go from there. Now again, if we do take out the high, that's fine. I mentioned I did not do a bear call spread. I'm not in a longer term position. It was just me setting up for a nice little quick snap down bearish and then look to buy the dip off of the 20 EMA. Let's talk about AMD. Got about 475,000 emails about this one today. That's a joke. I wish I got that many emails, but you know, maybe one day. AMD, nice bearish gap and go. White candle, gapping down. Everybody trapped on this one. In fact, yesterday's candle makes a higher high and higher low. This candle makes a higher high and higher low. You're below this. I mean, it's just a strong gap. How strong is it going to be? Well, I think it's going to be similar to this gap over here on AMD. This was also a strong bearish gap and go, and we trade down a little bit and then we ended up bouncing. Obviously it's not going to be the exact same, but here's the interesting thing to take away. We crushed through the 200 100 simple very easily, and you'll notice we may or may not have been down at this price before, in which we may or may not have bounced. The 50 EMA on a weekly chart is about 1168. Here's what that looks like. Let me bring it up. Here's the weekly time frame, and there's the 50. Could we trade down there? Yes, we could. Will we? Probably. Would it bounce down there? Again, probably. Not saying for sure, but it is a strong gap. Quick 2-3 days of bearish moves, and then we'll see what the candles look like, and then probably just kind of like this last bearish gap that happened back in May. Let's see if it bounces. That's what I got on AMD. Here's Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Earnings around the corner, nice and lower shadow. The last 4 days have been very interesting on Apple. If you've been trying to take a breakout, it hasn't worked. Figured that out about 2 or 3 days ago. And here's the extended hours chart, and look at the 50. It is flat as a pancake on the 50. If you turn off the extended hours, you'll also notice it is still pancake flat, meaning it's in a little bit of a channel right now. Buy low, sell high. So if Apple pulls back down to this price, look to buy the dip. If it trades back up into this price, either look to short it, and or if you are not allowed to go against the primary trend, let it break out, retest, and then buy that dip on Apple. But we have been trading sideways for 5 days. The weekly chart still looks good and bullish to me. So far we have an inside week. Here's the daily, here's the long-term moving averages. A few traders may or may not be getting themselves into a bull put spread over earnings of 146, 145 on Apple. Earnings are not disastrously far away. In fact, I do believe they're coming up next week. So we'll see what Apple does. We'll talk more about it next week. But again, nice little channel, things looking good, a good gap, and Apple's gone into the high 160s. That's what I think on Apple. Alibaba, a lot of people chatting about this one. And finally Alibaba pulled down into approximately right around the 50 EMA. That one's been interesting. Just a very, very obvious trend that we've had on Alibaba. Want to know what I'm talking about? Well, nice bullish trend. We pull back, make new highs, pull back, go up again, pull up, all-time highs, pull down, all-time highs, pull back, all-time highs, and pull back. Meaning, buy low, sell high, aka buy into weakness, sell into strength. Now again, earnings are also coming up on BABA. Those are also next week. Keep an eye out for some type of bounce down here around the 50 EMA. That's also what we're doing as well. The 100 simple, I would prefer if it trades down to there. So I will say, if it doesn't bounce from here, it'll probably do something like this. If that happens, cool. No big deal. Try it again later. Earnings right around the corner. Earnings you can normally hold over if you are doing a long-term investment type of trade or some type of option trade where you can only lose 1% or your 1 R of risk. If you're doing a short-term swing trade, right, you very rarely hold over earnings because it could gap and you could lose more than 1 risk unit. You really don't want to do that. So if we can trade down to here on BABA, very viable spot. Absolutely would love it down there. If it doesn't, though, that's also fine. And it's pretty much what I got on BABA. So it's pulling down into a spot right now that a lot of people are looking at buying it. Feel free to hop into the hourly chart. And I'm not saying it's going to gap up here tomorrow, but right now it's looking like it. If BABA opens tomorrow above 171.80, which again, don't think it will, but if it does, yeah. Buy something that rhymes with at the money call options. Here's ticker symbol LN for Line Corporation. Just want to give a shout out to my buddy Deepak because he asked me about this particular trade. This is a social media company also we've been following for a little bit and had a really, really phenomenal gap about a month ago right here. I don't know what I like so much about that gap. You can see the stock does kind of gap relatively often. But you had 2 bearish wicked pair candles and it gapped right above the high of those candles with nice increased volume. So anyway, mentioned to Deepak, go along there with some options and I believe he did. Really good move, phenomenal gap today. Just so pretty. Weekly chart doing its thing. Yeah, so this is a nice little breakout on ticker symbol LN. Just one to, keep your eyes on. And last but not least, here is Grubhub, ticker symbol GRUB. And Grubhub today, surprisingly, also higher. We did trade to a little bit of resistance. You got a good amount of volume. This is a retest gap. So for those looking at playing Grubhub, look for a little bit of a pullback and then a dip buying opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the requests that I got. Remember, you can hop over anytime to our YouTube channel, ticker symbol youtube.com, not really a ticker symbol, and just go to any of the real life trading videos. So you can just go type in, real life trading. You're already here, but if you click on whatever the video is and you scroll down to the bottom, sign in and just throw in what comments you would like to look at, and I will crush it. Shout outs to this guy who said he had 17% in the green and just starting it. I do reply to all my comments, by the way, so you'll notice reply. So all I'm saying is we interact with people because we like to. Our mission at Real Life Trading is to enrich lives. Thanks for being awesome, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on Friday. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.